Okay, part 2. It's now 11:11. Make a wish! Anyway, this whole thing, this point that I'm getting at, because it's taking me a while, I get into Job Corps. Okay, after, you know, Boys Town tried to teach me how to eat balanced, in a balanced way, and I was getting better. And then suddenly I switched house parents, if you will, and that threw me through a loop and stress and stuff like that. Then I got into Job Corps, where basically it was all you want to eat. You know, you're an adult, you can eat whatever you want. You know, we don't really give a shit. Just come to training on time in the morning, and make sure you show up for roll call. And after that, time is yours. And it was like, sweet, no problem. And I actually went and, excuse me, got myself kind of wound up. I would just start eating everything in sight, you know. I'd go to canteen every 2 weeks after getting my stipend, and I would, you know, buy ice cream and buy chips and buy dip and buy soda and buy this and buy that. I mean, every single freaking junk you could possibly think of, and would just spread it all out in front of me. You know, on one of the tables, you know, I'd be sitting there in the day room, you know, because I was kind of antisocial, didn't really join a lot of groups at first. And, you know, I got along with people, I just didn't feel like joining any social groups yet. And, you know, and girls would come up and go, damn, you gonna get all that? Yeah. Where are you gonna put it? In my stomach. But you tiny. That's right. Alright, you going with your bad self, girl. High five, you know, whatever. And one girl named Tina. Teeny tiny Tina. I miss her. She's on my Facebook, I think. She's either on my Facebook or my MySpace now, which I haven't checked in years. But Tina, if you're out there, miss you, girl. Miss your crazy tiny little self. That girl was a firecracker built in a very small package. She's like, I'm not going to mention it by name, but those of you that watch Mythbusters, they use just a itty bitty little bit of this stuff, and it's dangerous. And she can be compared to that, where you take just an itty bitty amount and you just add just the slightest bit of an irritant, and boom! I don't know if she's like that anymore. She's probably calmed down a lot since, but that's how I remember her, and that's how I love to remember her. But she would actually sit there and watch me eat, and it bothered me. I was just like, what, am I a freak? And she's like, no, you're just amazing. I'm like, what am I amazing for? Oh, you can eat all that and stay thin. And I'm looking at her, and she's, you know, on this tiny little itty bitty thing, and I'm just like, girl, I've seen you eat. I've seen you pack away some food, girl. And you stayed thin? So, you being amazed with me? Alright, fine, we can watch each other eat, you know. So we would actually sit down and we'd pig out together and either gross people out or impress the shit out of people. But Tina would be like, you know, what you looking at, fool? We trying to eat. You know, this little itty bitty white girl and this other slightly bigger white girl sitting there talking thug. Would throw people through a fucking loop. But Tina was well known by a lot more people, so they left her alone. They're like, that's Tina, she's nuts. Piss her off, she'll fuck you up. And if she's hanging with that chick, then that chick's probably the same too. So we'll just leave them both alone. We'll just watch from a distance. Damn, oh, holy shit. Well, okay. I get out of Job Corps. I get a job working for the same place that I grew up for 5 years in high school. Which was ironic, but hey, you know, full circle. You know, started becoming in charge of my finances, becoming more independent, starting to learn bit by bit. Well, I was allowed to take money out, every so often, because it was a continuing care program, if you will. And I lived in one of the houses and stuff that they provided to help us become independent. And you know, they would let us take money out of our accounts and stuff like that because we were over the age of 18, no big deal. And I could order a medium-sized pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut, a side of breadsticks with I think 3 things of marinara, dipping sauce, and a 2-liter of Pepsi. And I would rent some movies or borrow some movies from the supervisor. And just, you know, hunker down and just proceed to just run through it after about 2 movies. And the supervisor, God love her, she's not a supervisor there anymore, but I'm sure she remembers fondly. I won't tag her just because I didn't ask ahead of time. She would just look at me and be like, you know, she'd come downstairs and be like, what you doing? Oh, I'm ordering a pizza. Okay, this was the first time ever that I did it. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, you want to watch the movies? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. She's like, come on upstairs, I have a whole catalog that you can look through. And she had all of her movies organized in, you know, a special organization system that she devised. And I would go through the list of movies and be like, how about movie number A22Z56? It wasn't that complicated, but it was a very good organization method that she had to keep her movies organized because she had a lot of them. She loved movies. And she'd be like, oh, okay, you know, it's this one. Oh, you really want to watch that one? Are you sure? Yeah, bring it on. Okay. So, you know, and then, you know, my pizza got there and I paid for it and I set it all down. She's like, are you expecting somebody to watch a movie with you? I said, well, you can if you want. And she was like, but you weren't originally going to? I was like, no, I was just going to kind of take some me time. She's like, oh, no problem then. She's like, I understand. I'm a little bit of a loner career myself. Go ahead. And I was just like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, fine. Don't worry about it. You know, it's made me feel bad because I always have this thing where I want to share my food ever since I was a kid. You know, I was like, I don't have much, but I'll share with you. It was always my motto. But, you know, she assured me that it was fine. Well, she come downstairs when I was about halfway through the second movie, and the pizza is gone, the breadsticks are gone, 2 liters almost gone, and I'm like laying there going, oh, yeah. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, huh? And she's like, you ate all that by yourself? I'm like, yeah. Excuse me, yeah. And she's just like, okay. And I was like, hey, I'm celebrating, you know, I got a job, I'm, you know, taking care of my shit, you know, I'm doing it well. And she's like, okay, good for you. I totally agree with you. Celebrate, you're happy. You know, so it further amplified that, and I started smoking when I was 18. Actually, as soon as I turned 18, I went down to the canteen because they used to sell cigarettes on Center, and now they don't anymore because it's government property. But you know, then they would card you each and every time, just to be sure, even though they've seen you a million times. And I started smoking just to see what the big whoop was about because I started smoking when I was 15 when I worked at an off-campus job at a grocery store. And actually rather liked the whole smoking thing. It wasn't that it looked cool, it was just, ooh, this calms my nerves, I like it. You know, so, you know, I fell back into smoking, then I quit for a couple of months, and then I started back up again. And so smoking and eating kind of went hand in hand. After I ate, I'd have a cigarette. Before I ate, I would have a cigarette. There was so many different things, like, wrapped up into it, you know, food, cigarette, you know. And by the year 2000, I had basically ballooned out to almost 200 pounds. It was like 198. And people would just be like, you know, damn, how could you eat all that and stay so small? And it's like, I'm not small. I'm almost 200 pounds. No way, girl, please, you're lying. Like, I'm wearing baggy clothes for one thing. For two, let me step on the scale. I was like, you know, subtract about 5 pounds or so for clothes. Stepped on the scale and 199. Okay, girl, the scale's broken. Alright, I'll step off the scale. 0. Okay, step on it again. 199. 198. And they're like, oh my god. Yeah. This was after the 5 was subtracted. They're like, oh my god. Yeah. You're only 5'3". I know. You're obese. I am? Yeah, man. You know, I figured out all the calculations and stuff like that, and I figured out what my BMI was, and I was like, holy shit balls. Oh my god, I'm really in deep shit. Part 3 coming right up. Don't go away, it's my last one. I do these in 3s.